At least 11 people are dead and over 5,000 have fallen sick after a toxic gas leak at a plastic factory on the outskirts of Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh today. The incident occurred at around 3 in the morning when toxic gas started leaking from LG's polymer plant and reportedly spread over a radius of about 3 kilometers, affecting at least 5 villages. Early morning visuals showed dozens of villagers lying unconscious on the streets and trapped in houses near the factory. Ambulances, police teams and the National Disaster Response Force were rushed to the area to control the situation. Chief Minister Jagadish Reddy, who reached the spot, announced a compensation of 1 crore rupees to the families of the dead and 1 lakh rupees to those in hospital. He's also ordered an investigation into the incident. Prime Minister Modi has called an emergency meeting with the Home Secretary and the National Disaster Management Authority, taking stock of the situation. An initial probe reveals that the factory had reopened for maintenance after availing emergency passes from the state government. It had remained shut due to the lockdown. The National Human Rights Commission has issued a notice to the Andhra government and has sought details of FIRs and a status of the investigation.
What is the reason that's being looked at after post this, for this gas leakage that we're looking at?
Let's understand this. A gas has leaked out. It leaked out under the watch of the management, and certainly the burden of proof lies with them. It's unfortunate when, with such positivity, we were trying to make sure that bringing back normalcy, responsible companies, when they behave such irresponsibly, certainly actions will be taken against them.
Right.
What I'm also trying to tell them, the management of LG, is this: your senior people, wherever they are, they have to respond and come down immediately to Visakhapatnam, sit on the premises and tell us exactly what were the protocols that you initiated. So we're actually sent out messages to the Korean embassy, telling them the urgency of this matter and telling that the LG people better respond to this.
So as of now, things are under control. I would say that the leakage situation is much better now, in the sense that the silo that was leaking is now down to minimal, and there is hardly any leakage there. But as I say that, I also underline that we will be there till that leakage is totally plugged.
This morning, Honorable Prime Minister chaired a meeting of the National Disaster Management Authority, which he is the chairperson of. He took stock of the situation on the ground, as well as the response that has happened so far and the response that is required from across the board.
Main treatment strategy is to watch out for any breathing difficulty and airway management. Some of these patients will require to be intubated and put on a ventilator. Many will just require oxygen therapy, and we have to monitor for their oxygen, respiratory rate and their CNS depression. If there is bronchospasm or breathing difficulty, sometimes nebulization can also be given as far as treatment is concerned. In some, there is some data that in very sick patients, even steroids have been given when there is acute lung injury.
Well, that is the unfortunate development in Vizag, the gas leak, 11 people dead and thousands have taken ill on account of that. And this is going to be a developing story that we will continue to track. But let's also shift focus to the issue of migrant workers, a story that we've been pursuing here. With industries facing a shortage of labor, many states like Goa, Karnataka and Telangana have asked migrant workers to stay put. The Cyberabad police in Telangana has asked migrant workers not to leave while the lockdown is in force. Labor-intensive activities like construction have been restarted in the state, and workers have been told that measures will be taken to house and feed them as well as their families. But many small companies are strapped for cash and are struggling to pay salaries. In Ahmedabad, the district labour officer has issued a circular warning companies that they will face criminal cases if they cut salaries or delay salary payments for the month of April. Meanwhile, in a U-turn, Karnataka has announced it will restart trains for migrant workers from the 8th of May. The state faced flack for cancelling the trains earlier, citing the need to revive the economy. But MSMEs in Karnataka say that only 25% of companies have actually been able to restart operations due to the acute labour shortage, and as many as 50% of MSMEs could be forced to shut down without any relief from the government. Take a look.
So we have started from 4th after lockdown. Now we have started with a 33% of labour force. but only 20 to 25% of industries can able to start now, and also acute labor shortage because of they have gone out of district like that. So only 15 to 20% of labor force only coming to the work. So in this context, we are facing a lot of labor problem.
As of now, paying for small scale industries, all the 2 months or 40 days salaries is highly difficult. Almost 30% of our turnovers, it goes to the salary, where the small scale industries as of now is a below margin of 5%, where we can just get out the salary, paying a salary from MSME industries is highly difficult. So we are just expecting some package to the small scale industries from the state government and also from the central government. From the month of March, they have already made, and for the month of April, they are waiting for some packages from the government.
Well, that's the SOS coming in from MSMEs in the state of Karnataka, and that is pretty much the sentiment that's being echoed by small and medium enterprises across the country. Joining me now to take this discussion forward is Jagadish Shettar, the Minister for Large and Medium Scale Industries in Karnataka, Sangita Reddy, the President of FICCI, as well as the Joint Managing Director of Apollo Hospitals. We also have with us K. Srikanth, the Managing Director of Alpha Rubber and Springs. He's also the convener of the MSME panel, and JN Mangla, President of the SME at Gurgaon Industrial Association. Gentlemen, Sangita, many thanks for joining us. Mr. Shettar, let me start by asking you, sir, the government of Karnataka has done a U-turn. I'm given to understand that now you are going to allow the Shramik trains to run from the 8th of May. Is that correct?
No, it is not. Only the already so many lakhs together workers, migrant workers have been sent to their respective states. Already the process is going on. When the industry started and construction works also started, only our officials and others requested the migrant workers to be here, and works already started. You are not unemployed. Like that, request is going on. There is no intention to stop any train or anything. If anybody wants to go to their
but you
respective
cancel
states,
the trains, Mr. Shettar.
Nobody's
no, I understand a request being made.
No.
Mr. Shettar, I understand a request being made, but the trains were cancelled, sir, and you're only now restarting the trains as per the current information on the 8th of May. So the trains were cancelled without taking on board the concerns that were raised by the migrant population.
No, we are thinking about everything open to we are open, because nobody can stop them to go to their respective states, because it is a wish and will of that workers. We are requesting them to be here, and our Honorable Chief Minister also requested, and work already started, industry started, and construction works already started. You please be here and you give all the facilities. Like that, request is there. Not there is a mandatory, there is no force them to be here. We have not at all forcing them. If they are going to so many from buses also, they went to their respective states. Now also so many trains already went there to respective states. So we'll definitely will arrange. If anybody wants to go to the respective
how many trains
states,
have left how many trains have left Karnataka, sir? Mr. Shettar, so, you are saying that many trains have already left Karnataka transporting migrant labor. How many trains have run from Karnataka, sir?
A lot of trains have gone. Only one train stopped. It is not an issue, and we are not in a favor of stopping anybody. But we will give all the facilities to the respective workers, and we respect them, and whatever the facility, and already everything is started here in Karnataka. Industry started, construction work started, everything, economic activity started.
What facilities will you provide the migrant workers, sir? You said that the government will take care of all their needs. What is it that you will provide to ensure that the migrant labor decides to stay back? It is a choice, after all, that the migrant labor should be allowed to make. You're saying that you will allow them to make that choice and that decision. So what is it that the government is going to do to provide for them?
Definitely, already last 1 month, we are providing everyday food to the migrant laborers wherever we make the list out, and with where we are given shelter for them also, and almost all last 1 month to 1.5 months we are given all the shelter and foods for them, and nothing is, no complaints is there. So last 2-3 days, when they insisted for going to their migrant laborers to their respective states, then we started giving cooperation. Everything we have given cooperation. Nothing will happen.
Okay, you're saying that help will be provided. I want to ask you about another decision taken by the government of Karnataka. The Labour Secretary had tweeted saying that those companies that were not in compliance with the government's order of paying salaries, full salaries or reduced salaries to workers would have to face action. Now, we are given to understand that that order has been stayed. Can you explain to me where things stand on that?
No, because here MSC, particularly MSME sector is suffering a lot, and they are not in a position to maintain their industry, and they are not in a position to give the salary of the April month. But anyhow, they are trying to take some loans and other things. They are making arrangement for payment of the salary also, and they are expecting some special packages from the union government and state government also. Yesterday, our Honorable Chief Minister declared that 2 months, whatever minimum charges that is chargeable by the regarding power charges is concerned, it is waived by our Honorable Chief Minister. It is welcomed by the MSME sector and our industry sector. Like that, within a week, they are expecting some special packages from any government. For that purpose, they are waiting.
Yes.
So, it is in normal course, there are labor department is there, they will take action, other things, it is going on in everywhere. But this is a war time, this is a very serious situation is there, and there must be always must be conference in between employer and employee. So always they take care of their employees, that is workers. So it is going on in Karnataka. Nothing, no dispute is in between employee and worker, employer and worker is there. So this will be sorted out amicably with industry and workers. Definitely we will solve it. Definitely.
Okay, how do you intend to solve this, sir? You said that you're waiting for the centre to announce that MSME package. I think MSMEs across the country are waiting with bated breath for that announcement. But what will the government of Karnataka do, sir? You've talked about waiving 2 months of electricity charges, but what about salary support? I go back again to the U-turn that has been taken by the government of Karnataka.
Regarding
I'm quoting to you what the Labour Secretary had said. What the Labour Secretary had said, he said, and he tweeted this, saying directions have been issued by the Honourable Minister to issue notices to those employers who have not paid the salary or paid reduced wages to workers for the month of April 2020. If you're an affected worker, file here. That has now been put on hold, that decision. So is there now an understanding within government that there is large, widespread pain that industry is also faced with, and that the government must offer some support?
Definitely, this problem will be solved. Even 2 days back, when there is a meeting with the Honorable Chief Minister, with our industrial associations, in that meeting also, our Honorable Chief Minister and we also requested the industry leaders that you must pay the salary to the workers. We requested, and even the industry leaders also agreed that we are going to pay the salary definitely, because if you take some works from them, then it is our duty to give the salary them also. They are making arrangements. Give them some time. Just now they started industry. Last, if you see how many industries started, if after giving all the clearance, permission, almost over 20-25%, maximum 30% industry started.
Yes.
There others are just they are in an initial stage to start the industry. So once industry, if allowed, then workers will get benefited. If industry are not running, how the workers will get benefited? So it is a coincidence.
Sir, it's your
industry has to be survived and workers have to be served.
It is your government's order. It's your government's order, sir, that I'm quoting back to you, but that order for now has been put on hold. Let me bring in the other guests as well into the conversation.
Definitely.
Yes.
No, definitely that we are discussing with the Honorable Chief Minister also and other Chief Secretary also. We are discussing everything, and definitely we will solve this payment of the salary within a short, within 2-3 days. We will solve this, and workers will be get benefited. Nothing will happen.
Okay. Okay, that's an assurance coming in there from Mr. Shettar. Sangita Reddy, let me come to you. This is the story that's playing out across the country now. There is an issue of migrant labor. They want to go back home. Industry has just been allowed to restart, so industry is also hoping to be able to get back down to business. Governments are waiting for the central government to announce the package, which hasn't come so far. Now, what exactly is going on the ground, and what is the role that industry can play to support the migrant labor at this point in time as you restart?
So clearly, Shereen, it's a complex, difficult, and multi-sectorial problem. You have the lockdown on one side, and while the lockdown's been shifting, has been lifting about 51% of the production capability are actually in the red zones. And therefore, that is one major problem. The second related to the labor, and I completely empathize with this situation, but I would like to add a new angle in terms of solutioning, and that's really about communication. So if you talk to migrant labor, and we've been speaking to industry, etc., they are number one worried about the fact that, before they used to send money home, now they're depending on money which is coming from, their family members, and that's not something they want. We have to communicate two things. One is you can go back to work. And number two is that it's not something to be so scared of. The problem is they are feeling that if I'm going to die, I may as well go back home and die. And that's a reality, and I'm saying it, just quite frankly. So this communication is very, very important. To say that you follow the norms, industry is now opening up and it's going to be safe, and you will get paid and you will be able to send this back home. So besides lockdown and labor, the big issue really is the liquidity, and we've all been talking about it. It's crucial to announce the package. And even if for the first step of the package, there's a focus on the vulnerable and then on the MSME, we calculated that if you gave an interest-free loan to MSMEs of just 1 lakh crores, the interest for each month is only 8,000 crores. So let's announce three months to start with. Whatever is that package, let something come out soon, because the confidence rebuilding is very, very crucial. And I understand the government's doing a tremendous job, but there's more. Last one thing, because on behalf of FICCI, we had offered, and I think many people can step up and do this, that we talk to the cellular operators. We understand whatever phone numbers we can get, because a migrant labor has a particular phone number of, took a temporary line. We send SMSs to them. And then we give a call center to say, okay, this is, they can call up. And we know which industry is seeking labor to come back. A little bit of that coordination won't completely solve the problem, but it will assist in easing the problem. So a few thoughts.
Okay. Yes, and I think there needs to be a greater degree of cohesion and collaboration as we address what is a complex problem. K. Srikanth, the Managing Director of Alpha Rubber and Springs, also with us. Mr. Srikanth, you've heard what the Minister is saying that the issue involving both migrant labour as well as the payment of dues to migrant labour is an issue that the government of Karnataka will sort out. Hopefully other governments will look into this as well. What is the situation on the ground in terms of being able to restart, in terms of being able to get operations going? Where is the pain that you're currently facing?
Thanks for having me on your show. The pain is twofold that we fear will be there. One is the labor coming back to work, and even if the labor are willing to come to work, how do they come to work? In many places, there's no transport. And there has been a gap between the announcement of the lockdown and the implementation of the lockdown, taken as an opportunity when all the labor and the staff have gone back home to their native because they feel a comfort zone is there. So even now when we have started, we have hardly 20 to 25% of our labor and staff coming back to work because they are the few ones who are living nearby. And in the MSME, multi-skilling is not the norm. So the problem is every department and every aspect of your functioning is covered with the people who have reported to work, I doubt very much. So that is a primary challenge for people who are restarting their business. Plus, second thing is the government has said in many places that you can transport, but MSMEs don't have the capability to do this transport. So we are really stuck there when we do the restart. The second is, of course, the finance. If we can divide this issue into three, one is short term, one is medium term, and one is long term. All of us are worried about the short term and the medium term at the moment. The short term is our cash flow. The medium term are the loans, the moratorium, and the long-term payments, the NPAs from 90 days to 180 days, your book dates, your stock statements, and such kind of stuff that the finance sector is going to ask from you. The long term is, there are already people who have started thought processes in this, and I think we should encourage thought processes in this line, which should be constructive. Where is your next investment going to come from? What is your business prospect? Do we have enough infrastructure for the new kind of business that we need to do? Because all of us are understanding that COVID is something that we need to live with for the next 2 years or so. It's not something for 2 months and 3 months. It's a whole new way of life. And for the first time in all our lives, we have taken a major look at life versus livelihood. I think this is a tough task for all of us concerned, and we should all constructively work together is the way I would like to look at it.
Yes, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right in pointing out several of those execution challenges on the ground, transportation being one of them, and MSMEs, as you rightly pointed out, unable to provide for that. JN Mangla, the president of the SME Association at the Gurgaon Industrial Association, also with us. Mr. Mangla, if you can give us a sense of what's happening in the Gurgaon industrial base in terms of being able to restart. Are your problems similar to what we just heard there from Mr. Srikanth and Sangita, in terms of being able to transport labor across borders, between the NCR region?
Before lockdown, there was a very much problem regarding the automobile industry. 1 साल से पहले से ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री की हालत गुड़गांव में बड़ी खराब रही है. Immediately after that, लॉकडाउन स्टार्ट हो गया. लॉकडाउन स्टार्ट होने के बाद SMEs की कंडीशन और खराब हो गई. Now the question is migrant workers. Migrant workers, they are willing to go to their villages to meet the family members. That is not the question of the wages and salary. We all employees are ready to pay the salary, but we are demanding from the central government and the state government to release some packages to the employers so that they may pay the wages and salary to the workers. तो जहाँ तक सवाल माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स का है, माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स वो अपनी इच्छा से जा रहे हैं. किसी ने नहीं कहा कि आप जाइए, लेकिन उनके अंदर एक पैनिक होने की वजह से वो चाहते हैं कि एक बार हम घर जाएंगे, वहीं पे उनको सेटिस्फेक्शन मिलेगा, एंड देन आफ्टर सम टाइम दे विल कम बैक. तो वी आर एज SME, देयर इज a very bad position of the SMEs in Gurgaon because of we have to pay the salary from their own pockets, जो कि हमारे पास इस वक्त नहीं है. जहाँ तक दूसरी स्टेट का सवाल है, अभी कर्नाटका वगैरह के हमारे साथी बता रहे थे, वहाँ पर बिजली के इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल्स को भी डेफर किया गया है, जो फिक्स चार्जेस को भी जो है ना उन्होंने छोड़ दिया है. बट इन हरियाणा, स्टेट ऑफ हरियाणा में ना तो फिक्स चार्जेस को खत्म किया है, ना ही हमारे बिल्स में कोई विशेष कोई पैकेज का प्रोविजन किया गया है, और ना ही कोई विशेष पैकेज जो हम फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से मांग रहे हैं कि हमारे ESI के माध्यम से ये जो सैलरी है, वेजेज एंड सैलरी जो वर्कर्स को दी जानी चाहिए, वर्कर्स को सैलरी वेजेज का पेमेंट तो होना चाहिए. मैं ये नहीं कहता नहीं होना चाहिए, लेकिन क्योंकि हम SMEs हैं, हम कई हजारों लाखों वर्कर्स का रोजगार हम लोग देते हैं, तो हम चाहते हैं कि भाई उनका एक हमारा पैसा, हमारा मनी वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास पड़ा हुआ है. शेयर हमारा जो ESI में, प्रोविडेंट फंड में, सरकार ने अब तक कोई उसमें से हमें कोई भी रिलीफ नहीं दिया है. हम चाहते हैं कि वो पैसा हमको दे, जिससे कि हम उनको वेजेस सैलरी दे सकें. सवाल ये है कि जब ये माइग्रेंट वर्कर जाने लगे तो थोड़ा सा स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से उनको प्रोत्साहन मिल गया, इंकरेजमेंट मिल गया, और उन्होंने ज्यादा रजिस्ट्रेशन कराना शुरू कर दिया.
अगर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ये नहीं चाहती कि वो अपने अपने स्टेट्स में जाएं, हो सकता है कुछ वर्कर्स यहाँ रुक जाते हैं और हमारी इंडस्ट्री एक अच्छे तरीके से चल पाती। अब पोजीशन ये है क्योंकि 20-25% इंडस्ट्री यहाँ पर जो परमिशन मिला है वो चल रही है और कुछ नॉन अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ द वर्कर्स की वजह से वो इंडस्ट्री नहीं चल पा रही है। तो मैं आपके माध्यम से ये कहना चाहता हूँ अभी भी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को भी, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को भी, कि इसमें एक स्पेशल पैकेज का प्रोविजन होना चाहिए और वी वांट सपोर्ट फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट। जब तक सपोर्ट गवर्नमेंट की नहीं मिलेगा तब तक जो है ना हम लोग सर्वाइव भी नहीं कर पाएंगे। और इस लॉकडाउन का कोई लिमिट नहीं है। अभी मैं देख रहा था कि भाई मई जून जुलाई में कंडीशन और ज्यादा खराब होने जा रही है। तो अगर यही कंडीशन रही तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को कोई ना कोई विशेष पैकेज तो देना ही पड़ेगा। अदरवाइज इंडस्ट्री तो पहले ही बुरी हालत में है और हम लोगों का एम्प्लॉइज से
बुरी हालत में है और एंड इट विल गेट वर्स। जी, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा। I think it's been a constructive conversation. Many ideas being reiterated on the program here, but urgent intervention on the part of the central government and state governments required. Karnataka has announced some measures to try and alleviate the pain that MSMEs are faced with, as Mr. Shettar was explaining, and the hope is that others will follow through. Mr. Shettar, Sangita Reddy, K. Srikanth, and Mr. Mangla, thanks very much for joining us here on this special edition of Restarting India. Appreciate your time. We're taking a break. Don't go anywhere. We're back with more on CNBC-TV18.